Hi guys! So I'm back again, and this time we're going to be doing a May favourites. Now firstly I just want to apologise for being away from my channel for a while. Basically what happened was I was in one job and I left that job and I went into a new job straight away. Now what I wanted to do was leave YouTube for a little while, so I could leave that job, make sure all my ends were tied up and everything, and then move into my new job, learn what I had to do, yada yada yada, and then be able to rebalance my work and YouTube and personal life. So that's what's happened, and now I'm back, and I'm hoping to be able to do either a double upload on a weekend or one video on a weekend and one during the week. But what I will have to do just for the time being is just see how it's gonna go really. So first things first, I'm just going to get straight on with my favourites, and also just a quick side note, if I am looking over here, this is where the viewfinder is, so I can see what I'm doing, but the actual viewpoint is here. So I'm going to try and look in that direction, but if I do look over here then I do apologise. You'll just have to bear with me whilst I readjust to filming the videos again. So my first favourite, as you can see in my hand, is a perfume favourite, and this is Katy Perry's Killer Queen perfume. Now firstly, the thing I love about it is its packaging. Excuse me. I love how it's got the little crown with the KP in it, and I love how it's got excuse me, the little writing on it as well, which says Killer Queen and Katy Perry. The second thing that I really love is the fragrance that's actually inside the bottle. It's very feminine. It's got some fruity scent to it, some florally scent, but it's also got a wonderful hint of musk. And it's obviously not a nasty musky smell. It's a very, very nice musky smell. The only con that I really have about this bottle is the design of it, because when you have finished with it, you have to lay it down like that. As opposed to a normal perfume bottle, so like this one by Calvin Klein, where you can actually stand that up. But apart from that, I mean, the fragrance is absolutely beautiful, and it's not too expensive either. I think these bottles retail for around £20. It could be bigger, it could be smaller. I got this as a present, so I'm not 100% sure. But the other thing with it being an eau de parfum as opposed to an eau de toilette is this lasts so much longer because the scent's a lot stronger in each spritz. So if it was a eau de toilette, you might need to say do 3 or 4 here and a couple on the wrist, whereas this is literally one sprit in each place. So an eau de parfum is normally more cost effective as well, so another plus and another reason why it's a favourite. Another favourite this month has been the W7 In The Buff palette. What I really like about this is it seems to be a really good dupe for the Naked 2 palette by Urban Decay. As you can see, it's got quite a similar shade range. The only massive difference, apart from the fact that there's no mirror up here, is the fact that the brush that comes with it has a doe foot applicator on this end and then the brush on that end. However, there's great colour payoff, and when I got this one, I think it was £5 in Asda, but I've seen it in places like Peacocks, and I think they're still only around £5 to £10. They're really not very expensive, and they just seem really good value for money. If you take, for example, this shade here, it's just got really nice colour payoff, and the shimmer in it is really nice as well, and it's not too in your face. The only thing I wish it did have, as I kind of briefly hinted at, is the mirror in the lid. But apart from that, I think it's a really good product. Another favourite as well is something I bought ages ago. It's a palette from Accessorize. Now, I highly doubt that the Masquerade palette, which is this one, would still be available. However, I'm sure they still sell something very, very similar. Basically, this palette has a mirror in the top here, and comes with 16 eyeshadow colours, which you can see here, 3 blush colours, a highlighter and a translucent setting powder. Now, some of the colours, I'll admit, are duds. They look very, very nice in the pan, but as soon as you swatch them and you put them onto the eye, they are nothing. They just are really, really sucky formulas. But then other ones, like this gold colour, for example, is very, very pigmented. And looks absolutely stunning on the lid and can be built up, or it can be a literal wash of colour. The blushes are quite similar. The one in the middle is highly pigmented, but the one here, which shows up on the camera as being baby doll pink, if I just turn this way a bit, you can see it's a bit more of a darker pink actually. That one's not so pigmented. This one's kind of in between. Very buildable, but not very pigmented. Obviously, the translucent powder, that's translucent, so that's not so bad for the fact that there's no colour payoff, because you don't want there to be. The bronzer, however, I'm not a huge fan. I've not really used it for the fact that it's the wrong colour for me, really. It just looks too orange. I mean, it doesn't help with the fact that I am quite pale anyway, but that's so orangey that I can't really use it. I mean, I ended up paying £3 for this palette when I went to Glasgow, because the packaging was damaged and it was also coming to the end of the line. But it's a really good kit to take with you travelling wise, because obviously you get eyeshadows and blusher and a bronzer and a translucent powder. But I definitely try and swatch it before you buy it, because like in my case, this bronzer is useless to me, and some of the colours, they're not very good at all because of the colour payoff, basically. I'm sure there's other palettes out there that are far, far better and are just as much, really, and more cost effective as well. Sticking to the theme of eyeshadow, I've been loving a lot of eyeshadow this month. There's a Jazuli palette. This is the 120 eyeshadow palette, and it's the mother of all palettes. It contains pretty much every colour under the sun. But I'm really loving this one at the moment, because it's there for if I want to create a more neutral eye, so using this line or some from this line, but also if I want to create a bit more of a fun and wacky look, I've obviously got the colour choice for it. This palette cost me about £5, including P&P, from eBay. Just search for a 120 palette. I highly recommend Jazuli as a seller. It was free P&P, I think, and literally I placed my order, say, the Wednesday, and it was here the Thursday. If it wasn't the Thursday, it was the Friday, because I can't remember what time I placed my order, but it was either next day or the day after, and I hadn't even paid for that. It was brilliant, and it was like Fort Knox trying to get into it. The packaging was brilliant. There was bubble wrap, there was the cellophane to protect the colours, there was bubble wrap on the outside. It was brill. If you can find that seller, if they're still selling these palettes on eBay, they are brilliant. These are not only great as a makeup artist, but also just as an everyday thing, really, for somebody, because you've got whatever colour you're in the mood for. Just sort of linking onto that as well, my last eyeshadow favourite is the 88 Neutrals palette. This is again by Jazuli. This one's in more of a, oh, what are they called? Shiny case. This is in a buff, this is in a shiny case. So this one I don't like so much because you can get fingerprints on it, but from a makeup artist perspective, this is really good because you can tell the difference between the two palettes and you're not faffing trying to decipher which one's which. What I really do like about this one is it's obviously got a big mirror and does come with some doe foot applicators just in case you need them. Looking at the colours though, as you can see, there is every single neutral shade you could ever require. They're gorgeous, gorgeous shades, very, very pigmented, as are the ones in the 120 palette. And it also comes with a couple of colours. What I like to do is I like to use a couple of the champagne-y colours out of here. I do a Nicki Minaj inspired eye, which is like a chartreuse sort of neon green on the lid, electric blue underneath, but it also obviously needs a transition in the socket and a bit of a brow bone highlight here, and that's where this comes into its own. Absolutely brilliant. Obviously, if you don't have the 88, then there is something in the 120, and there's a lot of different looks that you can create. Again, this was about £5, but it's absolutely invaluable because you have every single colour you could require with this thing. Just leading on from that as well, what I would suggest to you is, if you see Sorry guys, my camera just fell over. If you do see an eyeshadow palette by a brand that you really like, so say Coastal Scents do a 88 warm palette or neutral palette, search it on eBay, but don't put the brand in, because 9 times out of 10 you can cut out the middleman. So where this one says Jazuli, for example, if you were to buy it from Coastal Scents, all it would do is say Coastal Scents there. But you've cut out the middleman, and you've still got the same products. It's their products, just without the branding on it. So obviously that's what drives the price down for yourselves. I might as well stick with eyes, seeming as I'm on such a eye buzz today. Another favourite is the Maybelline Colossal Volume Mascara in black. I love this. It adds lots and lots of volume to my lashes. It makes me feel like I'm wearing false lashes even though I'm not. And I just think it's absolutely wonderful. It's about £7. So not expensive, not cheap. It's a really nice middle of the road drugstore mascara. Moving on to the face now. It's kind of like a brand favourite, if you will. I've been using the Miss Sporty So Matte Perfect Stay 14 Hour with vitamins A, C and E foundation in 002 Light for ages. But now where I've gone paler, it just doesn't suit my skin tone anymore. I was finding it's a bit too dry for my skin. So what I've just got is the Mission Correction, the Multi-Action Concealer, Foundation and Highlighter Multi-Action Foundation by Miss Sporty. This is $2.99 in Boots at the moment, and this one is in 001 Ivory. A very lovely foundation. It seems to honestly conceal what it needs to conceal. It highlights where it needs to highlight. And as you can see, like, I've got highlight here, but it's not really picking up anywhere else apart from there, which I'd want it to highlight, and again here. It's a very clever formula. I'm going to give it a bit more of a go, but I am really loving Miss Sporty at the moment, with it being quite a reasonably cheap brand, but it still seems to give really great results. My last couple of favourites are more away from the beauty side. So one of them is this Lucozade drink, which is called Graffiti. I just love the packaging. I think it's so crazy and wonderful. That's kind of why I like it. And also it's a mixed fruit flavour, so it's just another really lovely flavoured drink that if you do need a bit of an energy pickup, maybe look into. Another favourite is my Zoella Girl Online book. I'm reading this again and I've totally fallen in love with it. I just think the story is absolutely wonderful, and with the shorter chapters it's a lot easier for people to read, like especially if you're on a shorter journey. Sometimes when you're reading a book you don't want to just stop halfway through your chapter. You want to find out what's happened, and you think, damn, you know, if just only if the chapter was a bit shorter or my journey was a bit longer, I'd be able to finish that. Obviously, this is perfect because I can normally get through 2 chapters on my journey to work, which takes me about half an hour or so. And I just think the story is absolutely wonderful. And like I said, I'm rereading it again. So well done, Zoella, on the book. And if you haven't read it, please do go and give it a try. It's a really lovely love story, and I think she's also working on Girl Online book 2 as well. So that'll be interesting to see where that's gone. And my last favourite of the month is my hair colour. I always, whenever I dye my hair, seem to go for a reddy colour, and I'm just loving this one at the moment. It's one of Schwarzkopf's. It's the ones that they actually target for dark hair. So naturally I have very dark brown hair that if you look at it, it looks almost black, but it is definitely a dark brown. And a lot of the problem is if you want to go to a red, especially something that comes up quite vibrant like this, you have to bleach your hair first and then dye it, and it's just a very long and laborious process. Schwarzkopf, however, seem to have cottoned onto some sort of technology of high definition colour and whatever else, and it produces lovely vibrant colours that work on dark hair. So you still get like a pop of colour that's really good but still on the naturalish side. and doesn't cost $1 million because you don't have to buy the blooming bleach beforehand and then your hair dye. At the moment, until tomorrow, Superdrug have got an offer on at the moment. Buy one, get one free on all hair dyes across their entire range. So whether it's Superdrug own brand or Schwarzkopf or whatever, you can get your hair dye, buy one get one free. Obviously if you've got your beauty card, use your beauty card, and guys, if you've got an NUS card, use it, because then you get 2 even cheaper, which is absolutely brilliant. And I wish I'd have done that because I forgot to use my student card when I went, so I still pay £5.50 for mine, but hey ho, £5.50 for 2 boxes was absolutely brilliant. And that's about it for my May favourites. So thank you very much guys for watching. I really hope that you enjoyed it. So just before my camera cut off, I was saying I really hope you like it. Please do comment, rate and subscribe. If you've got any video suggestions, then please just leave them for me. If you'd like to see the Nikki tutorial, please do let me know and I will certainly do that for you. And I will see you in my next video, which I'm going to film right now. Ouch. It's going to be a top 10 under 10. Alright guys, I hope to speak to you soon. Bye!